Hello everyone, let's start with a simple idea. Attraction isn't something you chase, it's something you radiate. Yet, when we think about attractive people, we often default to appearances, perfect hair, stylish clothes, dazzling smiles. But deep down, we know that's not it. We've all met people who don't fit the traditional mold of beauty, and yet they draw others like a magnet. Why? Because highly attractive people don't focus on being looked at. They focus on how they make others feel. And they live by a few secret habits. First, highly attractive people listen more than they speak. It's not because they don't have anything to say, it's because they understand something powerful. When you listen, you're telling someone, you matter, your story matters. In a noisy world, being deeply heard feels like oxygen. Second, they are radically authentic. Attractive people aren't perfect, they're real. They own their quirks, they laugh at themselves, they tell the truth even when it's a little uncomfortable, they don't perform for approval. They live in a way that says, this is me and I believe that's enough. That belief is magnetic. Third, they practice kindness without keeping score. They don't give compliments to get them back. They don't help just to be seen as helpful. Their kindness is clean, freely given, no strings attached. That kind of generosity creates a gravitational pull. People want to be near those who make them feel safe and seen without conditions. Fourth, they carry a quiet confidence, not arrogance. Confidence says, I know my worth and I don't need to prove it. It's the opposite of trying too hard. Highly attractive people walk into a room not needing to dominate it. They simply belong to themselves first. And finally, they live with purpose. Purpose has a sound. It's in the way someone speaks, the way they move, the way they love. When you meet someone who is driven by something bigger than approval, you feel it instantly. Purpose creates a light inside them, and others can't help but be drawn toward that light. So, if you're sitting here wondering, how can I be more attractive? Don't start with your mirror, start with your heart. Listen deeply, live authentically, give freely, carry quiet confidence, and pursue a purpose bigger than yourself. Because when you stop trying to be impressive, you become unforgettable. Highly attractive people listen more than they speak. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But in a world where everyone is shouting to be heard on stages, on screens, even across dinner tables, listening has become a radical act. It's a kind of silent power. When an attractive person engages with someone, they aren't just waiting for their turn to speak. They are genuinely tuning in, curious, present, without an agenda. There's a difference between hearing someone and listening to them. Hearing is passive, it happens whether you intend it or not. Listening, on the other hand, is a choice. It's an active process. It demands presence, patience, and humility. And this is exactly where the secret lies. Highly attractive people know that attention is one of the rarest, most valuable gifts you can give another human being. When they listen, they're not thinking about what witty reply they'll offer. They're not formulating advice before the other person even finishes their sentence. Instead, they let the speaker have their full moment. They ask real questions, the kind that show they're not just catching the surface, but diving into what's beneath. They nod not to hurry things along, but because they're genuinely following step by step. And when they respond, their words are soaked with understanding, not judgment. Something amazing happens when someone feels deeply listened to. Their defenses drop. They start to open up in ways they normally wouldn't. They share more honestly. They laugh more freely. They trust. And trust is the foundation of any meaningful attraction, not just romantic, but in friendships, in leadership, in every human connection. Most people walk through the world with invisible signs around their necks that say, notice me, validate me, understand me. Highly attractive people, by listening deeply, silently communicate, you matter, you are enough. They meet that unseen need without it ever having to be spoken aloud. What's fascinating is that when you listen this way, people naturally find you more charismatic, more memorable, and yes, more attractive. Not because you dazzled them with your brilliance, but because you made them feel brilliant. And not because you told the best story, but because you made them feel like the most important person in the room. The act of listening well doesn't require perfection. You don't have to have all the right words. You don't need to master clever tricks. You just have to be willing to offer your presence fully, unapologetically. In a world starving for genuine connection, someone who listens with their whole heart becomes rare, and rare things are always more valuable. Ultimately, people may not always remember what you said, they may not always remember what you wore, or even where they met you, but they will remember how you made them feel, and listening, real, wholehearted listening leaves a feeling that lingers long after the conversation is over. Highly attractive people are radically authentic. They do not wear masks to blend in or stretch themselves into shapes that don't fit just to please others. Their magnetism comes from their willingness to be seen exactly as they are, flaws, quirks, imperfections, and all. In a culture that often rewards polish over honesty, their authenticity stands out like a lighthouse in a foggy harbor. Being authentic doesn't mean oversharing or demanding attention. It's not about broadcasting every thought or feeling without filter. It's about congruence, about the inside matching the outside. Highly attractive people have made peace with who they are. They have stopped fighting for external approval because they have built a strong internal sense of acceptance. This inner peace gives them a natural confidence that can't be faked. When they walk into a room, they aren't trying to assess what version of themselves will be most accepted. They simply are asterisk. They share their true thoughts kindly. They admit when they don't know something. They laugh at their own mistakes without beating themselves up. They tell the truth, even when it's awkward, because honesty is their default posture, not a strategic move. This kind of raw sincerity is magnetic because it gives everyone around them permission to do the same. When you meet someone who is unapologetically themselves, something inside you relaxes. You don't feel like you're being measured or judged. You don't feel the exhausting need to perform. You get to just be asterisk, and that is one of the most powerful gifts anyone can offer. Highly attractive people aren't chasing perfection because they know that perfection isn't what creates connection. Vulnerability does. They're willing to show the parts of themselves that aren't finished or polished. They're open about what they're still figuring out, and in doing so, they embody a kind of quiet bravery, the courage to be imperfect in a world that constantly demands we pretend otherwise. When someone is radically authentic, you sense that their energy is clean. They aren't maneuvering for status. They aren't trying to manipulate how you see them. They aren't playing a role. They are living aligned with their values, their beliefs, and their true desires. And because they don't betray themselves for acceptance, they naturally attract the right people, those who resonate with their real essence, not a performance. Attractiveness born of authenticity has a different quality. It's not loud, it doesn't beg for applause, it doesn't need to dominate the room. It simply is. It feels safe, it feels refreshing, and it feels rare. In the end, the most irresistible people are not the ones who try to be everything to everyone. They are the ones who dare to be exactly themselves. Their presence is a gentle but powerful invitation. You can be yourself here too. And in a world obsessed with filters and facades, that kind of truth is breathtaking. Highly attractive people practice kindness without keeping score. Their acts of generosity are not part of a secret ledger where every good deed demands repayment. They don't give with a hidden expectation tucked in their back pocket, waiting for the right moment to collect. They give because it is simply who they are. In today's world, kindness can sometimes feel like a transaction. A compliment is given hoping to receive one back. Help is offered with an invisible price tag attached. Appreciation is expressed in exchange for future favors. But highly attractive people break this cycle. Their kindness feels different, lighter, purer, and paradoxically far more powerful. When they offer a compliment, it's not flattery designed to manipulate. It's a genuine recognition of something they see and appreciate. When they lend a hand, it's not because they expect gratitude or loyalty in return. It's because in that moment, they truly want to contribute. Their actions are rooted in abundance, not scarcity. They are not operating from the fear that giving something away diminishes them. They know that real connection grows when you give freely without strings. This kind of uncalculated kindness creates an atmosphere where others can let their guard down. People can feel when kindness is genuine just as easily as they can sense when it's strategic. There's an undeniable difference between someone who helps you because they want something from you and someone who helps because helping brings them joy. Highly attractive people make others feel safe from manipulation, safe from obligation, safe to simply receive. And what's even more beautiful is that they don't broadcast their good deeds. They don't need to. Their acts of service often happen quietly, unnoticed by the crowds, because the reward isn't in being seen, the reward is in the act itself. Their kindness is woven into the fabric of who they are, not stitched on as an accessory for special occasions. There's a natural gravity to people like this. Others are drawn to them because being around such generosity feels like breathing fresh air. In a world where many interactions can feel transactional, someone who gives without an agenda is a rare and treasured presence. Kindness without scorekeeping is powerful because it reflects a deep internal security. People who give freely signal to the world, I have enough love, enough joy, enough self-worth to share without fear of running dry. That abundance is magnetic. It invites others to rise to that same level of generosity, to give not because they must, but because they want to. And perhaps the greatest secret is this: in giving without expectation, they often receive the deepest kind of loyalty, respect, and affection, not because they demanded it, but because they inspired it. The kindness of highly attractive people doesn't just touch the moment. It lingers. It seeds itself in the hearts of those around them, and continues to grow long after the initial act has passed. Highly attractive people carry a quiet confidence, not arrogance, but a deep-rooted sense of self-worth that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. They walk into a room with a presence that isn't about dominating the space or drawing attention to themselves. Instead, it's the kind of confidence that simply says, I belong here. In a world where we're often taught that confidence must be loud, brash, and assertive, there is something magnetic about a person who simply walks through life with a gentle, quiet assurance. They don't need to be the center of attention, nor do they seek validation from others to feel secure. This kind of confidence is not performance, it's a natural, unshakable belief in who they are and what they stand for. When they speak, it's not to impress. It's not to show off their knowledge or to outshine anyone. They speak because they believe what they have to say is worthy of being heard. Their words carry weight, but they are never heavy. They are comfortable in their own skin, which makes others feel comfortable around them. There's an ease to their presence, an effortless grace that suggests they are at peace with themselves. They are confident in their strengths and humble in their flaws. This quiet confidence is not a front, nor a defense mechanism. It is rooted in an understanding that their value is not determined by external circumstances, by praise, recognition, or approval. It comes from an internal place, a solid foundation built on self-acceptance. They know their worth, but they don't need to constantly remind others of it. In contrast to the brashness of arrogance, which often stems from insecurity, quiet confidence exudes a calm power that attracts others. Arrogance is noisy, it seeks validation, it compensates for an internal emptiness, but quiet confidence has no need for validation. It simply is. It's steady and unshaken, like a mountain that doesn't need to announce its size. People are drawn to this kind of confidence because it feels stable. It feels real. What makes this form of confidence so attractive is its lack of force. There's no need to prove anything, to strive for something unattainable, or to chase after accolades. Highly attractive people are content within themselves. They don't compare or compete with others because they understand that there's no need to. Their own path is enough. They live not in competition with the world, but in harmony with it. This kind of confidence also creates a safe space for others to shine. When you are confident in yourself, you are not threatened by the success of others. You don't need to outdo them or prove your worth through comparison. Instead, you celebrate their victories and support their growth because you know your own journey is uniquely yours. This non-competitive energy allows others to thrive in your presence, and they, in turn, are drawn to you. In the end, quiet confidence is not about having the loudest voice in the room. It's about knowing that your voice matters. It's not about standing out at any cost. It's about standing tall in who you are, knowing that your mere presence has value. And that kind of unshakable self-assurance is, without a doubt, one of the most attractive qualities a person can possess. Highly attractive people live with purpose. They move through life with a clear sense of direction, not driven by the whims of external approval or fleeting trends, but guided by something much deeper, an internal compass that steers them toward meaningful goals and values. This sense of purpose is not always loud or overtly visible, but it's felt in the way they speak, the way they act, and the way they inspire others. Purpose is magnetic because it is authentic. It's born from a deep understanding of who they are and what truly matters to them. It's the result of introspection, of reflecting on their passions, their values, and their desires. And once that purpose is discovered, it shapes everything they do. It influences their decisions, their relationships, their work, and the way they contribute to the world around them. Attractive people don't waste energy trying to conform to the expectations of others. They're not caught in the cycle of chasing external validation, the praise, the recognition, the titles. Instead, they are focused on what drives them at their core, whether that's a desire to create, to help, to lead, or to connect. And because their actions are rooted in this sense of purpose, there's a natural energy and passion in everything they do. They don't just go through the motions, they engage deeply, they put their heart into it. Purpose gives them clarity. It simplifies their choices and decisions, making it easier to say yes to what aligns with their goals and values, and to say no to distractions or opportunities that don't serve their deeper mission. This kind of clarity is incredibly attractive because it exudes confidence. When someone knows where they're going and why, there's an undeniable pull to follow. It's the allure of someone who has a clear vision, a sense of meaning that goes beyond the immediate or superficial. But perhaps the most powerful thing about purpose is its ability to inspire others. When you live with purpose, you naturally become a beacon for those around you. Your passion and commitment light the way for others to find their own sense of direction. It's not about telling others what to do or pushing them toward a specific goal. It's about showing up fully in your own life, living authentically, and letting your actions speak for themselves. People are drawn to that. They want to be around someone who is driven by something bigger than themselves, someone who believes in something and works tirelessly to bring it to life. Purpose also brings resilience. When challenges arise, and they inevitably do, highly attractive people don't crumble under the pressure. They may stumble, they may falter, but their sense of purpose keeps them grounded. It gives them the strength to keep going when the road gets tough. This kind of resilience is magnetic because it shows that they are not easily swayed by adversity. They are steady, focused, and unwavering in their commitment to their mission. At the end of the day, purpose is what gives their life meaning, and that meaning is what makes them irresistible. Purpose doesn't just guide them, it empowers them to create a legacy, to make a difference, and to leave a lasting impression on everyone they encounter. In a world where so many are drifting or searching for meaning, highly attractive people stand firm in their purpose, and that certainty is what draws others in.